All right, finally. Well, so I learned a lot. In this one kit, this is my very first build. As I said in the previous two videos, I got a little 19-minute video and then an 8 or 9-minute video. So the first video is when I got my original order from A-Main, the TRX4 kit, the motor, the ESC. I got a 10BL60 brushless, sensorless, Hobby Wing, $50 ESC here, uh, and in the and then I got a little Brood Riot S 1850 kV outrunner motor. This is a very budget build. This is my first G-Speed. It's my first tent scale, and it's my first build ever. Also my first kit. So there's a lot of firsts here. I learned a lot so far. Firstly, the last video I left off, I had assembled the axles, and I was waiting for the In the Works RC V3 X4 skid and transmission mount, motor mount kit for the stock TRX4 Sport transmission. And since then, I've had COVID. It's been like a month. I've been waiting to do this video. The truck is still very much unfinished, but basically I got all of the first order in the mail. The folks at In the Works RC had a tragedy in the family or with a close friend, and things were slow, and I had to wait a while for that. Plus then I got COVID finally after a year and a half, and that sucked, but I had the vaccine, so it didn't last very long. But anyway, the last video, I had assembled the transmission, I had assembled the axles, but I hadn't put together the shocks, threw the oil in the shocks and the springs on the shocks yet, and I hadn't figured out how these SSD bead locks work, and I hadn't mounted the motor, I hadn't mocked any of this stuff up yet. And so what I've done since then is I used some of the hardware, very little of the hardware out of the TRX4 Sport kit that I didn't sell. I went ahead and sold everything that I didn't use on eBay for about $125. So that means I got what I needed out of the kit for $175. I got the axles, transmissions, shocks, wheels, shocks, tires, foams, and links and drive lines for about $175. So that was fair enough. You know, that wasn't too bad. One thing to start, we'll just start off with one thing. First, let's go with these SSD bead locks. These aren't true bead locks with the outer ring here. I don't know what kind of bead locks you'd call these, but they are bead locks. They're actually 4 pieces. And at first, I couldn't figure out how they worked. I had them on there, but I didn't realize how they went together. I watched a YouTube video, got them together, and these aren't vented yet. I am going to vent my tires 100%, but I just like the way these feel right now, unvented. They're pretty soft, and it just looks more realistic to like a low-pressure off-road tire right now. And I'm liking the scale feel of it, and so I just kind of want to run these just to see the difference for myself when I do vent. You know, most of the guys on the internet, on YouTube that I respect, considering that I'm new to this hobby and I don't have a bunch of friends that crawl. I have one friend that crawls, and he's got like a CR12 and a WPL. So all I have is the internet to go off of right now. As per, I'm in drug treatment, I'm about to graduate, and I've been slowly kind of building this truck while I'm in treatment and getting into this new hobby. I'm about 4 or 5 months into the RC hobby, mostly into rock crawling and bashing, but mostly rock crawling. Been watching a lot of Scale Builders Guild, a lot of Harley Designs, a lot of TRD Adventures, and then also a lot of Exo Caged, and learning a lot from those guys. Specifically on this build, I learned a lot from TRD Adventures, and all of those guys have been very responsive on their YouTube channels. Any questions that I've had, they've pretty much answered, which has been important a few of the times. It saved me a lot of money and time. These wheels, they bolted up really nice. They don't slip anymore on the rim. I couldn't figure out why they still made noise, and when I bolted them up to this mocked up version of the truck, when I bolted them to the axle, they were still clanking around, and I didn't realize that you actually have to take it apart and that the rim actually locks the tire in there. And so I got these together. These feel good. I'm not going to stay with these tire and foams or wheels on this build, I've decided. but I am going to run these and keep them as a backup set. These are just going to be like my uh, temporary wheels and just a backup wheel set for this truck and for other builds, just to have a set of wheels to throw on a build to have until the real wheels for that build come in. So one big major change you'll notice here, I still got my little sticker collection. This has been growing. I got a Brood sticker, In the Works RC sticker, Hobby Wing sticker, and a G-Speed sticker. And I do got a TRX4 and A-Main stickers too. One of each is going to go on the bed of the creep body. So yeah, creep body. I really wanted to use as much as I could from the TRX Sport kit for this build, including the body and accessories. However, that body is super huge. This is my first tent scale, and I like the TRX4 body for a ready to run. It's a good Lexan body. It looks good, but it is way bigger than I thought. It's way wider, and considering that I wasn't conscious of the fact that I was buying a Class 2 only set of rails when I bought the G-Speed kit, once I discovered, oh, this is only going to ever be a Class 2 build because it has integrated shock hoops, it was like, why keep the extra body on a Class 2 rig? It just didn't make sense. So I was able to sell all the extra stuff on eBay, and that worked out really great. The body actually paid for itself and then some. I put all the leftovers, the chassis, the frame, the bumpers, the wheels, the light buckets, the scale accessories, and the body itself and the stickers and mass and everything. I put that up on eBay for 125 bucks. After it's all said and done, I think I took home about 90 bucks out of the deal. So that worked out good. What's happening now with this build is that I'm going with the creep body. But before we get into what's going to happen from here, let's look at what we already got. So told you about the bead locks. I threw these shocks together. Of course, I got the medium springs in the back. I got the soft springs up front. And I went ahead and used some of the software from the TRX Sport kit to mock this up just to see if my stock links and my stock drive lines out of the TRX 4 kit were going to work temporarily until I could afford more links, because I'd like to drive this truck a little bit before I get all of the performance parts. And so the good news is the links, I got this mocked up. And you can see, like, everything's just barely on there. You know, these skids aren't all the way close. There's gaps. And I just kind of threw this on there to see if these links are going to work. And they reach over fine. I've held, you know, I don't have the hardware to put them in place right now. So I just kind of had to hold them into the holes on each axle at a time, at one axle at a time, and see if the drive lines and the links were going to work. And they're going to work temporarily. The shocks aren't going to be in the position that I want because it's a little too short for this G-Speed chassis, the links in driveline, but they will function, they will work, and they won't be that bad. It's just not going to be what I want. So that's good news. In the previous video, I thought that these were metal inserts, that these were aluminum, but they're not. They're just hollow plastic. But I see guys using these drive lines, so they can't be too bad, and I'm only really going to need them for like a month, so that should be fine. The main interesting thing the main thing that changed was the body on this build. Everything else is pretty much going the same. My next order, I'm about to place it here in the next couple days on A-Main, and so we got the bullet connectors to go from these leads, or no, wait, excuse me, from the leads on the motor right here. There's 3 of these guys off of the Brood Riot motor right here into the ESC right here. And by the way, this ESC's instructions, super simple. It's really, you crimp or solder on some 4mm bullets onto these 3, things right here. It's $3 on A-Main, and you plug them into here, and then you buy some XT60 connectors or whatever you like, EC3s, Dean's plug, and you put that on here, and then you get a battery with the same hookup, and boom, you're pretty much in business. And so that's pretty basic. That's a lot more basic than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more hectic as far as electronics go, but it was pretty self-explanatory. So I'm glad on that part. So I'm getting the bullets. I'm getting the ProTech bullets for $3. I'm getting some double-sided tape, some high-tack double-sided tape. There is a motor on there, but that's for a different build for my friend's short course truck. And I am going to try the 13-tooth pinion out from Tractus, the 32-pitch 13-tooth pinion. Yes, pitch is a thing. I didn't know that. I thought that was a great steal, but there's 48, 32. Pay attention to that if you're going to change out your your pinion gear, and your spur gear, actually. And then I got some body posts, which it looks like they're out of stock now, so I'll get a different set. I do got diff covers. I'm going with an aluminum diff cover in the back. It's got the cool little Misfits looking skull on it. I'm going with the cheapest brass diff cover up front, which is from ST Racing Concepts. I'm going to grab the Hobbywing LED program card. Yes, the one thing that I am using this Team Energy is just the heat shrink tubing. It was the cheapest, and I figure if I'm going to go cheap, it might as well be with heat shrink tubing. I'll probably regret that. Who knows? I got the basic tools because I did in just a little bit of time of assembling the axles, transmission, and mocking up this frame and stuff. I stripped out the little Allen wrench that came with the kit. And that, I do not advise doing that. Get yourself a good little 3mm wrench or whatever it is, whatever that Allen wrench, hex wrench thing is that you use for the 3mm screws. Make sure and get a good, decent one, because as soon as the tool strips out, you strip out the nuts. And I actually stripped out the transmission nuts, and I almost ruined my whole transmission. And it was really like a 2-day process to get the screws out of the transmission that I had mocked up to the stock stuff, and that was a pain in the butt. So note to self, I'm getting some basic tools. I'm getting Team Losi Racing 3x20mm set screws. That's something else I learned. The In the Works RC kit does not come with hardware, and you need what are called set screws they basically screw in from the side here in through here and hold your links in place on the skid. And so I'm going to need 3 of those. And in this one, because it's a double, holds both of them in one, I need the longer 20mm ones. And so that was a learning experience. TRD Adventures helped me out with that. That took like a day to figure out what was going on there. It wasn't that clear to me. And I'm glad I found out before I placed this order, because I thought that I was just going to put screws in there or something. Regular M3 or regular 3mm screws. I do got a set of Lexan scissors. I went ahead and got the 3mm faux rotor hub extensions to offset my wheels 3mm on both front and rear, so 6mm total. I went ahead and just got the front overdrive SSD gears for $25 to throw a little overdrive in the front axle. Instead of the black backer I mentioned in the last video, I went ahead and went with the silver backer and decided to paint the truck white with a silver backing. Of course, I got some thread lock, which is a good idea for metal on metal. Those right there are the Losi Mini T-springs. You can use one set for both front and rear. You don't need to buy the rear ones for the rear and the front ones for the front. You can use the medium from the front in the back of your truck. That's good to know, so you don't have to buy 2 sets right off the get. A set of XT60 connectors for $7, and that's to put on these 2 leads right here coming off the ESC, so that I can hook a battery with the XT connector up to this, to the ESC. And then of course, everybody uses this, I guess, the K&K stuff. And I'm pretty excited about getting a bag of 700 screws, because that's the only thing holding me back from having a roller right now, is that I can't link the links up. And the drive shafts I can link up, but the links I can't link up. And then I got shock spacers. Right now I'm actually using the wheel nuts from the TRX4 Sport Kit as spacers on the G-Speed frame, just to kind of mock these into position so I could see what my wheelbase was looking like. And so that's going to be good. I got the white Lexan PS Tamiya paint for the first coat, and then of course the Crete body. And then the other parts that I'm getting this order is I decided to go with the BLS X900 servo. It's on sale. It's $50 off right now, mind you, and it's not a Labor Day sale. It's just on sale. And I seen a video of this servo on TRD and on his Bronco, and it was just like mind-blowingly strong and super fast. Can't wait to try this thing out. And then, of course, I got the TRX4 mini T-string mod from these guys. I was going to go with bumpers from here, but I actually found the bumpers that I like better. They're a little bit more low profile, and they actually have a fairlead in the front bumper, and they're cheaper from IERC. So these are the two bumpers I'm going to get. But this actually isn't this order. This is going to be next month. I can't quite afford these guys this month. So next month when I get the battery and the radio from Amazon, I'm going to purchase the bumpers too and complete the kit with the bumpers. And that's that. That's this order. So we decided not to go with the Three Brothers stuff. I got some stuff that I'm more excited about that's cheaper right now. And so the other thing I want to talk about in this video is, so check this out. This is a very simple 3D printed skid and motor mount to the stock TRX4 Sport transmission. The one issue that I'm having right now is that if you look in here, let me get a better view. If you look, so you see my pinion and spur, the pinion gear, which is the smaller gear right here, actually isn't lined up as far as I like because it's already so far out on the motor spindle because of the thickness of this 3D printed motor plate. This motor plate's a little bit thicker than normal. Granted, I probably could change that. I also can move this pinion further out on the spindle to where it lines up, but I want to make sure that the drivetrain is going to be solid, and that's about as far as I like it coming off of the spindle. So we'll see about that, how that's going to work out. That's the only hang up. Other than that, this skid and transmission's great. The links go into here beautifully, like it was made for it, because it is. The holes all lined up on the 3D printed stuff. The sliders are from G-Speed, but this is from In the Works, this part and the skid. And and the 3D printed dual servo mount. I'm probably not going to stick with this for a long time. I'm actually thinking, I have a few ideas. I might go with the laydown servo and the carbon fiber winch mount over here on the slider tray. I might go with try running the Rock Pirates RC Element and SCX10 2 plate right here. It has a space for a little low profile reef servo winch, and they have the new 800 IS that I really want to put next to this X900 servo. And he says in his website that it works on most aftermarket comp chassis, and this is one of the more common chassis, so I'm thinking I might be able to get that tray to work, and if I can, I want to use it because it actually hooks up to a low profile battery tray. And right now the only battery tray I got is this comp battery tray. And this thing is actually stronger than I thought. At first, I seen the plastic, and it looked a little foamy. And I was like, man, this thing is just gonna... I mean, it looks like a piece of styrofoam or something, right? But, check this out. Like, I'm seriously squeezing the shit out of this thing. And it is very strong, and it is very, very light. This is way better quality than I initially first thought. And I'm super stoked I got this. I will be able to run the little 1300 and under packs on this just great. And that's just what I wanted it for. And I'm super stoked about getting that mounted up. But I'm pretty sure this dual servo mount is temporary. I like how, if you can see, it's just a 3D print, but they did take the time to arch this right here so that you have this the clearance here on the bottom end. I think that's a nice touch. I'd like to see a little bit more of that with even the TGH stuff, especially with a lot of the low CG builds that we're doing. I think that it would be a good fit. And so basically this is most likely going to be a TGH dual servo mount, a TGH laydown servo mount with the little carbon fiber winch thing that I seen G-Speed guys running over here. I'll either do that, or first choice is going to be the Rock Pirates plate right here with the 800 IS, the new 800 IS winch next to this BLS X900 servo. With the Rock Pirates RC tray. I'm probably going to have to mod that tray up, but I'm going to use that tray, I think, probably right here in the back. I'm probably not going to be able to... I think I can run the plate in there, but I'm not going to be able to run the tray, I don't think. Now I'm looking at it. I think I'm going to run the battery right here for now, right above the links. And so, other than that, I should get this stuff in about a week. I'll show you another video with basically the next step when I get all the parts to the next order. I'm not going to do a build video yet. I'm still pretty new to YouTube. I've now figured out how to use YouTube thoroughly, minus uploading my own videos onto my own channel of my own build stuff. And right now this is my third video ever for YouTube. And so just pardon my noob. Honestly, I hope to do more full build stuff. I need a tripod. I'm going to get a GoPro 9 here when they come down in price, and another laptop and stuff. Just to do build stuff because I like doing it. There's about 6 of these trucks that I want to build. I want to build 2 or 3 different carbon fiber ones. I want to try the AR-45s. I want to try the AR-45s with the Vanquish. I want to try the AR-45s with the straight axles. I want to try the AR-45s with the metal straight axle housings. I want to try the I want to try the Boom Racing AR-44s that are built. I want to try the stock AR-44s, which is some beef tube bits, with a lot of Punk's custom stuff. I want to use his wheels and bumpers on the carbon fiber V3s to build an SCX 10.2 and an Element Builder's Kit build. So there's a lot of stuff I still want to do with these chassis. This is my first build, but I'm really enjoying it. And as far as that goes, these shocks are getting modded. They're getting the spring cups and the mini T-springs. I already told you about that. The wheels. So I'm not sticking with these wheels. These are temporary. So with the wheels, I'm going to go with not Vanquish method, but I'm going to go with the older Incision method 20-hole bead lock wheels. Just a flat back, black Ocho style bead locks. And then I'm going to go with some JEC Racing, their signature little skull bead lock rings. And they have these plastic, transparent, different colored backings to their rings you can put on the wheels. And that's what I'm going to use for wheels on this. I'm probably going to try out trenchers. I've never had a pair of trenchers. Got to try them. Of course, I want to try the Hyrax. But the first thing I'm going to try, which seems to be a bargain, is the Ultra Soft Boom Racing Hustler MT 4.5s. And they come with a dual stage foam for like $25. So I got to try those. It just sounds like a good deal. You get a dual foam right out of the box. And I think the rubber is a lot better than it used to be. I think it used to be a little hard. And now they have the Ultra Soft Snail Snot or whatever it is compound. And I'm going to try those wheels for my... I'm going to try those tires out on the wheels I just mentioned to start with. And then we'll just go from there. And then... I am going to get, eventually I'm going to get the In The Works RC high clearance links. I'm going to get a 1/4 inch steel on the bottom and 1/16 aluminum on the top. And I'm going to go ahead and to lay these shocks down. When I mock this frame up into place, these shocks are still pretty perpendicular. They're like, these rear ones are like right here about. Which is too tall for me. With the portal axles, that's just too tall. This is a low CG build. And then the front ones are really, they're like right here. So that's with these 12.3 links off the stock TRX4 Sport Kit. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to the 12.75 links to try to get some more length. And in doing that, I'm going to need new drive shafts. And my hope is Trial has TRX4 drive shafts for the Defender. The TRX4 Defender that is a 12.8 wheelbase, front and rear. And so I'm going to buy that set. It's $30 for the Trial drive shafts. I'm going to buy that set and try that with the 12.75 links from In The Works. And that's what links and drive shafts I hope to put on this thing. And with that, basically, I got the stickers for the paint. I looked at some mask kits. There's actually some mask kits. I don't want to say they're cool, but there's options available. I found, I think it's XXX Stream Racing or something. They make paint masks. There's a bunch of options. It's something to start off, if you're trying to learn to paint, which is cool to have some kind of option. But for now, I was thinking about putting on the hood of the Creep. I was thinking about putting the Adidas logo, not this logo, but the 3 stripes. And then I was going to put All Day RC underneath of it, is like my brand name or whatever, because everybody says, like Garage Guy RC or, whatever, Harley Designs or, Scale Builders Guild. They all have their names or whatever. And some guys actually have legitimate companies and are way more established. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I just thought it'd be cool, if it said All Day RC underneath the Adidas logo. But I don't think I'm going to go that far on my first thing. I think I'm just going to lay down the white. I might do some stripes just with some masking tape. Do some TRD style stripes on the front and maybe on the cab with the white Lexan, and then go over it with the silver backer. And I don't even know if I'm going to mount the body until I get the next links. We'll see. I'm not going to be able to drive it till next month when I get the battery and radio anyway, so... But I am going to paint it and do a video as soon as I get the body painted and the links on and the wheels on and the servo in and all that, and get everything kind of almost ready just for the battery and radio and receiver. So yeah, that's it. That's my build. This is the 3rd video, and I'll have one more video when I get this order. And then I'll have at least 2 more orders, and the truck should be completely done at that point. And I figure I'll have somewhere just under $1,500 in it altogether. So far, with this new order I just placed, it's right at $1,050 minus the $90, so right under $1,000 that I got into it. And I got about $400 more worth of parts coming that makes it that $1,000. So. And then I got to buy the radio and the batteries and everything. That's about $150 with the bumpers. That's another $50. So another $200 next month will be $1,100, and then the wheels and links will be another $250. So yeah, right around $1,500 when it's said and done. So thanks, guys. This is my 3rd video ever. I know I had a lot to say, but that's kind of the point of doing the video, just kind of get it out there, and hopefully you guys can learn something. I'm interested to see. I don't see a lot of guys running these Brood things, at least out on the West Coast. I really like Holmes Motors. I plan to use some of his stuff. I look forward to using some of his stuff, but I'm also willing to try some new stuff. Like there's that new Turtle 3D printed Team Garage Hack wannabe motor. It's $160, but it comes with 31% overdrive, and it looks good enough to try at least. When everybody's running 1 or 2 options. If everybody's got either an FMM or a Tulo or a Stealth X or a Vanquish 3 gear or a VFD, it's like that's it. That's all we really are running in. It's nice to see another option. Maybe it doesn't look that good. Maybe it does look like a knockoff, but what if it isn't? What if you try it and it's like, oh, okay, this is actually a fucking decent motor, and yeah, it's not Team Garage. I love Team Garage Hack. I love Team Garage Hack, but just the same as with Holmes Hobbies, for my love of those brands and those people that are behind them, I think they would welcome a good quality product in either of those categories anyway. And I'm just kind of willing to give something new a try. I'm not desperate. I'm not going to go buy some energy crap and be like, oh wow, this, but whatever's clever, get in where you fit in. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.